Welcome to the UnderMike show with Sam. Another Wednesday, another show. How are we doing?
We were doing better probably before the disaster that was this XFL weekend.
Yeah.
That was it was just not fun in terms of many losses, many different ways.
Yeah.
We can might as well get into that right away.
Just get it over with. I mean, we were looking okay after Saturday. It wasn't a disaster. We were 1-1. But yeah, then Sunday went awry a bit, and it was just one of those some bad losses that you had some dumb shit happen, and
I mean, the St. Louis game, nothing you can do about it. There was no indications or reports that AJ McCarron was going to be out, and he was announced out basically like an hour when they do it before game time is inactive, and the line went nuts. It went down 2.5 points. Obviously, if I knew AJ McCarron is out, I'm not playing St. Louis -7. But one of those things, I mean, he had practiced. I know he's a little bit limited, but there was no talk of him not playing, so they sit him, rest him, probably for the playoffs. And his backup comes in, plays okay, makes some mistakes. They won the game still. That made me even more confident in my pick. Probably was good if the guy who I think was the MVP of the league up to this moment, AJ McCarron, plays. So they win. They don't cover. Take that loss. We got the Arlington win to kind of counteract that. They were getting 1.5. They beat Orlando straight up. So, we're going into that like you said, the 2-unit game for me, and I'm just like, all right, get this, and it's a great weekend. Yeah. And 2.5 minutes to go, I think, or 2:45, 2:50. We get the ball back up 9. And I'm like, a couple first downs, and it's over. And third down, the way they were controlling the game defensively, I don't know why they even tried to convert a 3rd and long. Just run the ball and punt.
Yeah.
Get intercepted, give them a short field, and then we kind of get sucked into thinking we have a chance again because it's 4th and long, 4th and 10 for the game. Still, we're up 9 points, and they get a penalty, automatic first down, and end up going on to tie the game. Again, we win in overtime, but we don't cover. So
yeah, that's one of those that just make you sick.
Yeah. So I drop 2.3 units. My record's 24-17. Hey, still up 9.15 units since we started doing this. So you just got to bounce back. We can quickly. You had one play. The DC under, and these DC games lately seem like have been going crazy. And this, like you said, second half, they seem to go crazy, and this one did. Yeah,
I mean, we were looking okay in the first half. I don't think the weather
–
I didn't see the beginning, but the weather wasn't – what's that?
Well, yeah, on pace.
The weather was quite – huh?
On pace. Light pace. Very, very close.
Yeah, and it seems like I go by that a lot in NFL, but it seems like these games, just the ones that I've been watching, the ones that I've been involved with thinking about unders or betting the under, they've started off on a good pace, and then it just goes nuts in the third quarter. And it's like that, I don't know, the third quarter, and then this one in the fourth quarter went crazy because we actually still had a chance. I think it was we were talking, I think there was 5 or 6 minutes left, and if we got to stop there, the other team then one more stop, and we would have been okay. And then long bomb, and I'm like, all right, I'm done watching. And then they scored like 2 more touchdowns, I guess, in the last 5 minutes there.
Yeah. So at least it wasn't
just to make it look really ugly. It wasn't quite that ugly.
Made it look really ugly. It makes you feel a little bit better that you're like, all right, at least it didn't just go over. I'd rather get smashed. So drop 1, you're still 25-11, and you're plus 12.9 units overall. And then overall for us, we're now plus 22.05, still clinging on overall to some XFL profitability. And our record is 49-28. So still good overall. I'll quick throw this up on here for anybody that's watching early on. Subscribe at YouTube to the UnderMike Show and follow the UnderMike Show on Facebook. And then obviously I'll throw up the ticker here. Gives you the follow at UnderMike626 on Twitter. So we'll talk about weather, but quickly, just to let everybody kind of know, USFL is here. So it's the second year of this league. It's starting up this weekend. So we figure why not cover it and put out some picks and plays. It's similar to the XFL in the fact that it's a lot of guys that, played Division I college football, maybe got drafted in the NFL and didn't quite latch on, maybe played in the CFL. The rules are kind of similar in the fact that you have the 1, 2, and 3 points after touchdown, although USFL is a kicked extra point for one. I don't believe there's running clock, and I believe the USFL actually tries to get more plays in by having a shorter play clock. So that might be something to remember for unders and overs. But this is a continuation of their league from last year. This is year 2. The same teams, the same players, with the exception of Tampa Bay changing over to Memphis. So we'll definitely give out some picks there. And, of course, we got the XFL playoffs around the corner. So we got a new league to talk about to get us back, through the next – probably that league will probably run the next 3 months or so. So we'll talk about that, but let's get a quick overview from you on if we're looking at anything this week weather-wise at either XFL or USFL. And I know you were taking a look at, the USFL does kind of like they don't play true. Some home games are true, but it's really like pods they play at.
Yeah, so there's four locations that they play at total. And then each weekend, it looks like 2 of the locations are used. So this weekend, we have Memphis and Birmingham. And then there is the field in Canton, Ohio, and then Detroit, Ford Field. So 3 of the 4, of course, are outdoor. So those are ones that we'll look at when they're in play to give us another shot to see if we can get some weather going. This week, we do have a storm system coming across the country. It's going to be matching up kind of closely with some of these games, but it's one of those where it's kind of a front coming through with some storms. So the timing right now is a little hard to really pinpoint, but it's going to be something that I keep an eye on throughout the week and just kind of see what looks like could have a big impact on the games. The Saturday games, what I'm looking at now in Memphis for the USFL, there's going to be some storms coming through Memphis, it looks like, in the evenings Saturday. Birmingham, there's a chance of some storms. Memphis then on Sunday, it's going to be after the front, so you're going to have a little bit windier conditions. Just kind of got to see how that timing works and if it's going to be more of some wind in the morning and then dying down, or if there's going to be some more wind during the game. And that's actually a 12 p.m. start. So it's something we'll keep an eye on. The other game looks okay on Sunday at Birmingham. That's the Pittsburgh-New Orleans game. And as far as the XFL, we only have two games to look at this week. Both the Dome teams are home. So we have Vegas at Houston on Saturday, and there is a chance of thunderstorms there as well. That's a 11:30 local time start, I believe. 12:30 Eastern time, it says. And then DC on Sunday, that is a 12 o'clock start. And there's, again, a chance of afternoon storms, but this one could actually get in before the weather comes. So the timing's it's going to be close in some of these games. And so yeah, I'll keep an eye out. And so keep an eye on it.
Okay. Yeah, I feel like Birmingham, for some reason in my head, I always feel like there's storms in Birmingham. So maybe that will work out for us. We can only hope. It seems like there's not been a lot of weather.
I mean, storms are too. If there's lightning and everything, they're not going to play through that. But if you could get a good storm with not the lightning, but just like a rainstorm, a heavy cell come through that's rain for an hour, that could really take down the scoring there. So that's what we're going to look out for.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to jump right into my first USFL play of the week. I got one USFL play this week, and it's the New Orleans Breakers -3.5 against Pittsburgh. You can find that at DraftKings and MGM. I don't believe FanDuel is individual game lines up for some reason. So here's where I like New Orleans. Their coach, he's in his mid-40s, John DeFilippo. He was on the Eagles Super Bowl staff back when they won it with Nick Foles. And it's his first crack at being a head coach at any level, I believe. So I really think he is going to be dialed into showing what he can do. And I like their quarterback, McLeod Bethel Thompson. He won the Grey Cup in Canada once as a backup, once as a starter. And he left basically just because he wants to be back in America closer to home. It was too much being away from the family. He's in his mid-30s, but he's a veteran guy. And I think the combination of those two, especially early in the season, is going to be a lot for one of the worst teams in the league last year, Pittsburgh, who is replacing their coach. Their new coach, Ray Horton, he's 62 years old, a little bit older, never really been the guy. I'm not really sure what they're going to get out of this team offensively based on last year's stats and not seeing really much improvement in the roster, in my opinion. So I really like this Breakers -3.5.
Okay.
So that's my US.
I don't know if you know, is that where it opened at? Or
I didn't see what the opener was. It was tough because
if
I felt like some sites weren't posting, I feel like. And then, it might have opened at 3.5 on DraftKings, but it could have opened offshore 2.5. So, but I'm fine with the 3.5. So, that's going to be the USFL play of the week. The XFL play of the week. This is across the board on every site at 1.5. Orlando Guardians, okay, plus 1.5. And I'm going to just confirm that again because I checked it, I think, like an hour ago. Yes, it is still plus 1.5. This, I know we played against them before, but we've also played on them and hit.
Yeah.
They're going against San Antonio, which is a team I just do not like. They end up biting us in the butt last week in that they covered against Houston, but I'm going against them again here. And for me, the big difference is Orlando's offense, especially their passing offense, has been somewhat rejuvenated with Quentin Dormady, which I did not expect him to be able to do it at quarterback. He was the guy that they actually cut from their team earlier in the season because there was word that he had leaked their playbook to the other team.
Oh, wow.
He fought it. They looked into it, and apparently it was not true. And now he's been their starting quarterback, and he's playing pretty well. And I just, to me, watching that San Antonio offense with Jack Cohn, it's been anemic. I'll take the Guardians here, getting 1.5, especially the optics of it. If people just look early in the season, they see San Antonio 30, Orlando 12. I think most people are going to be like, well, duh, I'm going to take the team that won by 18, give it 1.5. I don't think so. I really think this is a Guardians game here. So that's my XFL pick of the week.
Okay.
So let's get back on track. 2 1-unit plays there. I'm hoping we can come through and just kind of right the ship a little bit here with a new XFL. I mean, a new USFL league starting up. We're not the league starting, but a new season and coming to the end of XFL. So with the USFL starting, DraftKings is also doing USFL DFS.
Oh, okay, good. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I'm going to do a pick for each, one for XFL, one for USFL. Keep it simple. I'm going to recap quickly last week's XFL DFS picks. Matthew Sexton. So last week he had 3 catches for 27 yards. That's 5.7 points. Really nothing to write home about. Didn't kill you at that cheap of a value. I was hoping for more out of him, and I think he was moderately used, in the 20 to 30 range percentage. So I think others liked him too. And our other pick, there's really nothing to recap. I put out a post saying not to play him about an hour before the game because he was injured.
All right.
He got hurt in practice and did not play. So hopefully everybody got him out of their lineups. What do we got here this week? I'm trying. Your hand is covering a lot of it, so I'm trying to think what, and I'm trying to guess based off of your chewing pattern what it could be. And I see a little bit of potential stickiness in the jowls, based on the movement. So that makes me think there could be something a little sticky. Maybe something involving peanut butter. Could it be a peanut butter? Ooh, I didn't hear a crunch there though. I was thinking maybe a peanut butter pretzel.
That was a little crunch, and just so you know, these are warmed up, reheated. So
warmed
you don't
up.
really get the full.
Okay.
Not much crunchy, but
yeah, if you reheat, there would be no. Yeah, so a tater tot is, but that wouldn't be sticky. Maybe try to think. There's some type of inside to them that would, and it's not peanut butter for heating it up. Maybe it's a cheese substance. Shell's cheddar cheese cube.
Yeah.
I love it. I saw a little bit of movement in the. I'm like, all right, there's a little bit of things that can stick, and I was like, I went to peanut butter, but then
when you said peanut butter and the cheese, like, with it being reheated like this, it's not as I guess gooey, and it's just like it's more of like a peanut buttery type texture. So like you were saying it, I'm like, oh my god, it actually is, but. Because I happened to be out in that area in my car out there, and my parents took me to get it after work. And I'm like, we were talking about doing pizza. And I'm like, I haven't had pizza Como in forever. So as I'm getting the car at Fisher's, called up Pizza Como, like 25 minutes, number 55. All right, let's go to Shell's and get some cheese cubes in the meantime.
I've done the same thing, which is so scary. I've done the same thing.
I waited at Shell's for 25 minutes for 2 orders of cheese cubes. That's all I got. And that was the perfect time because then the pizza was ready over Pizza Como.
And, I live a little bit further away than you do now, but we both no longer live in the Muhlenberg area. The place we're talking about is Shell's. It's a historical place in Berks County and, more importantly, Muhlenberg Township. Yep. They have a cheddar cheese cube that they've been selling there forever. That's immensely popular. It's beautiful. It's not as good reheated, but it's still good. And then across the street from there is Pizza Como, which is like the pizza place in the area too that I enjoy the most and go back and get pizza and a special Italian sandwich there. So, that's great. Yep, I'm glad I could get that before you had to really give me like a strong hint. I'm on a very, my laptop screen is probably only like the size of less than the size of a sheet of paper. So
yeah, but you had the right idea with the texture because it really was like that. And, I mean, the hard part for me here was not eating both of them on the way home because I got about a 25 minute or so ride. So I knocked out the one order of cheese cubes, but I left the other one sit and I let them go till now and ate them all.
That's impressive. So quite a segue for me from Shell's cheddar cheese cubes, which are always a lock to be ordered with every order, to the XFL DFS lock of the week presented by Shell's. No, not really, but that would be cool.
If you're viewing this, Shells, if you want to.
Tyler Vaughns, 4,500 wide receiver for Arlington. Like we mentioned, some of those DC games have been going nuts. So I'm targeting Tyler Vaughns here. He has the new quarterback, Luis Perez, started last week. Played a clean brand of football. and Vaughn's was heavily involved. He had 4 receptions. So he's getting a cheap price here in a wide receiver against the defense that's been getting stung through the air. So that's my angle there for Tyler Vaughn's. And our first USFL DFS lock. And we bring him up here. Stevie Scott, the third. Running back, 5,300, plays for Michigan. They're going against Houston. So my thought here is I looked at the game logs from last year, and I remember, Stevie Scott in college. I watched a lot of him at Indiana, and he finished the year with double-digit carries in their last 5 games, weeks 6 through 10. The last 4 weeks he had, I believe it was double-digit carries, and I think he did it 6 times out of 10 games. So 60% of the time, he at least got 10 carries. And the last 4 games of the year, he got at least 10. He had catches in the last 4 games of the year, and it looked like he took over for their other running back, Corbin, who's a little bit more expensive. I think he's probably around almost 8,000, and we got, I think, the guy that's basically, I think, going to be the 1 to the 1A, 5,300. And Michigan likes to run the ball, so I think he's a great buy. And with him showing the ability to both run and catch, always important. And it seemed like he's become the guy. And I know he's a great short yardage back. So that's my USFL DFS lock. Hey, the more games, the merrier. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we spoke last week about the giveaway. Like I said, if we don't hit our intended goals, we'd love to. We're crawling towards 50 Facebook followers. And we're trying to get the YouTube and Mike's Twitter account up as well. But even if we don't hit this goals, we're going to do the giveaway before the XFL championship game. So keep following us on YouTube. Follow UnderMike on Twitter. Follow the UnderMike Show on Facebook. I even had a guy this week on Facebook give me some shit. So what did I do? I gave it back to him and then blocked him because he was a maniac. So if I'm not here next week, it's because he found me and murdered me.
Yeah, trolls, man.
So I was hoping that he lost money just going opposite of us over the last
right
7 months.
Look at these assholes. They're 5-0, man.
Yeah. So that's pretty much everything I got. I'm looking forward to this weekend with a new league.
Yeah, I am too. It's going to be exciting to get these next weeks here with two leagues going. We said more plays, more chances at weather, and I think I'm excited this week. I think we get back on the winning ways here and have a good solid week, 2-0, and never know if I can throw in an under. But yeah, I'll keep you all posted on that. That's all we got.
That's all I got as well.
All right. See ya.
Later.